A 15-year-old boy gets a second chance at life, but he can't squash his thug ambitions long enough to live it. An ungrateful recipient of a heart transplant shows the world its true colors on this edition of the Wake Up Report. Hello everybody and welcome to the Wake Up Report. Before we get started, I need to make a correction to the photograph you are looking at because it does not accurately reflect who I am about to talk about, so let's make that correction. There we go. That's more like it. Now let's get started. You see that little bastard child in the photograph? You see that little bastard 15-year-old boy that has more tattoos on him than a jailhouse prisoner? You see this little bastard child whose bastard father is probably somewhere inserting his bastardized penis into yet another woman to produce yet more bastardized kids like this one. Well, this kid and his family conned the Atlanta Children's Hospital, they conned the state of Georgia, they conned the United States of America, they conned the world. They absolutely shamed the hospital into doing something that it knew it was not supposed to do and should not have done, which was waste the precious gift of life on somebody not deserving of it. Let's take a look at some quick news stories. If you hadn't caught the story, and I've no doubt it's all over the internet, so I know you did. But let's get you up to speed with what's going on.
A 15-year-old DeKalb County boy is in desperate need of a heart transplant, but doctors say he does not qualify. News since 6, this is video of Anthony Stokes in the hospital tonight as his family fights to change the doctor's mind. Channel 2's Tony Thomas is live at Children's Healthcare at Eggleston tonight with why the teen can't get on that list. Tony?
Well, the family's members say they've been told it's because of the teen's troubled past. Stokes remains in the hospital here at Eggleston. His family and civil rights groups are putting that pressure on, trying to change the doctors' minds. This is video of Anthony Stokes given to us by a family friend. The 15-year-old plays chess and looks outside his hospital window. Doctors say Anthony likely has less than 6 months to live. Anthony's mother says the only way to fix her son's enlarged heart is a transplant, but he doesn't qualify to be on the transplant list. In this letter, doctors say it's because of a history of, quote, non-compliance.
They said that they don't have any evidence showing that he would take his medicine and he wouldn't have any follow-up care.
The keepers of the nation's transplant lists have strict guidelines as to who qualifies. While doctors don't specify in the letter, family friends say they've been told it's at least partly because the teen had low grades in school and trouble with the law.
The non-compliance is something that they're fabricated because they don't want to give him a heart.
We contacted Children's Healthcare of Atlanta for a comment. Spokesperson Patty Gregory replied, "The well-being of our patients is always a first priority. We are continuing to work with this family and looking at all options regarding this patient's health care. We follow very specific criteria in determining eligibility for a transplant of any kind."
I know it's wrong because if they get to know him, they would love him.
Here's the latest now in the investigation. We reported on the Channel 2 Action News night at 11 that the suspect in the chase and crash was Anthony Stokes. Now, Stokes got a heart transplant in 2013 despite having a criminal record. At the time, he told Channel 2's Jovita Moore in an exclusive interview that he was thankful for a second chance. And Channel 2's Liz Arts is live in Roswell at North Fulton Hospital, where the pedestrian hit during the chase is recovering this afternoon. Liz.
Fred, Clementina Hernandez has family by her side right now here at North Fulton Hospital. Within the past 60 minutes, a spokesperson told me that she is stable today after being hit by that stolen car yesterday. Here's video moments after the crash Tuesday. Police say 17-year-old Anthony Stokes stole this black Honda, burglarized an 81-year-old woman, shot at her, and while attempting to get away from police, struck 33-year-old Clementina Hernandez before wrapping the Honda around a pole and killing himself. Dr. John Webster says he was in his office Tuesday afternoon when he heard all the commotion.
We see several medical people over the body trying to resuscitate, we assumed. Couldn't really tell. And then more individuals were working on the car, trying to get the person out of the car.
And today we are trying to learn more about each one of those victims left in the path of this crime spree. Whatever we find out, we will bring it to you on Channel 2 Action News starting at 4. Live in Roswell in North Fulton County, Liz Arts, Channel 2 Action News.
Okay, now let's do this. Let's do what his mama said, and let's get to know him. Because if you got to know him, you would love him. And what's not to love about that? And who wouldn't want to hang out with somebody like that? And don't you just love that? And oh my God, isn't that so cute? What we pretty much surmise is to get to know him means no doubt you will get robbed and shot if you are anywhere in his vicinity. This little demon seed conned the entire world, and it is an absolute disgrace. Now I'm going to tell you something. Apple don't fall too far from the tree, because if you look at the mama, you look at the tattoos on her hands, and no doubt, because she's covered up for the cameras, I'm willing to bet she got tattoos all over her body. I am telling you, these types of black people with all these tattoos, all this demonic, ridiculous behavior, okay, I don't care what anybody says. If you look at all of them, they're all the same. They got all these tattoos all over their body, and I'm sorry, I think there's something wrong with these people. I think they're just satanic as far as I'm concerned. There is no God in these people. There's no conscience. There's no remorse. There's no nothing. All these people are doing, they are breeding, they are existing, and they are destroying everything that they come into contact with. We have produced, or they have produced, I haven't produced any of them, 3 generations of the worst black people that this country has ever seen. I kind of talked about the father in the beginning, but when you really think about it, the father not being there really didn't have an impact on this boy, because as you saw in at least one of the news clips, you know, you had a family friend, and from the photograph you can see there are at least 2 men, and I'm assuming all those people are part of his family. You can't say that he did not have male role models in his life that were there to help guide him and steer him and teach him right from wrong or anything like that. This is a kid that wanted to do bad. This is a kid that wanted to be a thug. He wanted to be a gangster. Once again, if you look at everything that these kids today have consumed for the past 20 years, they think that this stuff is normal. They think leading a life of crime is normal. They think being thugs and hoodlums is normal. And why? Because their favorite rappers, the Lil Waynes, the Gucci Manes, the Young Jeezys, the Jay-Z's, they look up to as role models. And that you mentioned Jay-Z, somebody who has produced bastard children himself. But he has enough money to be able to pay the women off, so he does not have to worry about taking care of them. But these are the role models that these kids look up to. And these types of people are rewarded. They're rewarded with music awards. They're rewarded with movies. They're rewarded with all kinds of things. So when you look at it from their perspective, well, why not be? You know, I can steal, then I can be a rapper, and I can rap about how I stole stuff from people. And I'll be famous, and I'll be on the Grammys, and I'll be on the American Music Awards, and everybody will like me. You know, it is such a twisted way of thinking. I watched the mother, and I watched those crocodile tears. You watch her try to act like this is tearing at her heart, and this is okay. But I'm sorry, I didn't buy it. She knows that this little bastard terror demon seed, who she cannot control, who was out here robbing and stealing, and probably what happened was he was probably running from the cops, and his heart gave out, and that's how they found out he had an enlarged heart. You know that this kid is beyond help. You know, but like a lot of these women who have a lot of delusions about these children that they bring up, that it's my babies, it's my baby, and I just don't want my baby to die, even though my baby is like a thugged out, axe murdering psychopath. Well, if you just get to know him, you would love him. It's just absolutely ridiculous, man. So another point, you get a second chance at life. You now become an advocate. Your life is no longer yours anymore. But think of everything that you could have done with a second chance, okay? Because now the world knows who you are. You could have, was he 17 when he wrapped that car around that pole? So you were 15. You get the heart transplant. Everybody knows who you are. You could have hooked up with somebody. You could have wrote a book. You could have gone out on speaking engagements. All that money that you holding up on your Facebook photographs, you know, with the guns and all that kind of stuff, you could have legitimately made 10 times as much money the right way, as opposed to that chump change, short-term cash that you made sticking people up. Your life was pretty much handed to you again. You could have become an advocate for organ donations. You could have, I mean, just the possibilities could have been endless. You could have just turned your life around in such a wonderful way, but you absolutely, positively blew it because you never had any intentions on changing to begin with. You were a thug. You want to continue to be a thug. And hey, I got a new heart now. So hey, look, now I can run faster after I rob people. You know, whereas I was too weak to hold one gun, now I can hold two guns when I'm busting shots at people and robbing them. You know, never mind the fact that it takes nothing more than a balls out coward to rob a 80-year-old senior citizen and shoot at them. Another point, and I believe that the actions that we do, like in the present, right now, that's what determines our future. So whatever wrong you do, you inevitably, inadvertently, you write your own destiny. So think about it. The person who now didn't get that heart is going to die or has died. That could have been the person who could have grown up to become a doctor to cure heart disease. That person could have grown up to become the next Steve Jobs or the next Bill Gates, the next president of the United States. That person could have grown up to make a contribution to the world, to make the world a better place for everybody. And now that person is gone. But what we have left in that person's stead is an absolute, total, and I don't cuss a lot on this show, but I'm going to, this one time, but absolute, positively 100% fuck up. That's who we imparted that responsibility on, and they played their role true to form and gave us exactly what they are. And probably the worst thing imaginable. You were given a second chance at life, but you show no hesitation, you show no remorse about taking someone else's life after yours has been saved. That alone is enough to send you straight to hell, which I'm hoping and praying that's where you are now, because you don't deserve to be anywhere else. We got to get a handle on these kinds of people because they are absolutely positively destroying what's left of the fabric of Black America. Okay, we've got to get ourselves separated from these are niggers. These aren't Negroes, these aren't coloreds, these aren't African Americans, these aren't blacks, these are balls out straight up niggers. All right, and we have to figure out some kind of way to separate ourselves from these niggers. Put them somewhere where they can be contained, where they can be corralled, because they're like weeds. They will pop up, and everywhere they are, they will pop up, they will pollute, destroy, antagonize everything. Absolutely, positively, no remorse for this person. You did us all a favor by wrapping that car around that pole and wrapping yourself up around that pole. You went to the wizard to get a new heart, should have got a brain instead. This is KTM in the Wake Up Report, saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.